Hello, Mark Red Larson here for the Dreamcatcher podcast. Thanks for joining us. Today I have Craig, and I'm going to let him introduce himself.
How you doing, Mark? It's Craig Sotkovsky, and I'm here on Dreamcatcher, and let's go.
Yeah. And thank you for doing that because we just discussed that I probably would, it would have been inventive, that's for sure. And very interesting. Who knows what it would come out of my mouth on that. So Craig, we just met recently and a little bit of background about where you're at, which kind of what's going on.
So I'm in Merida, Mexico. I've been here a year and a half. Claim the fame. Entrepreneur my whole life, and then I became a 9/11 cancer survivor. And I believe I have a message to humanity. It's simple as complexity, and it's like you don't have time. You have to learn how to execute on everything.
Yes.
My daughter had a teacher. It's funny. My daughter had a teacher that used to say life is like a Tuesday afternoon because you can make whatever plans you want, and
Hmm.
just a regular Tuesday afternoon will come and destroy it all.
Yep.
And I believe that, we're all one step away from having something catastrophic happen to us.
Yeah.
And,
And
not as a downer, but life is life. And whether you want to participate or not, life is going to
yeah,
show up with Murphy's Law and
big
do
time.
its thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just a guy meandering through life, seeking more knowledge and passing on
Okay.
wisdom, and yeah, that's it.
Awesome. No, and I agree with you. I mean, you need to do it now. People always like do it later. You just got to be part of your life, even if it is like we were just talking about what you had happen yesterday. So you just you never know when things like that are gonna.
You never know.
No, keeps it interesting. That's for sure too.
Absolutely.
So, have you always lived in Mexico?
No, so I came down here in 2009 after the crash of 2008 on my birthday.
Okay.
Um, we were already in a process. My daughter and her mom were already in a process of buying land down here,
Okay.
and I ended up making a restaurant down here.
Wow.
And
Okay.
we came down in January of 2009, and we stayed here for 7 years, and went back to the United States after 7 years. And my plan was to launch my book and speaking career, and I ended up battling cancer.
Oh wow. So yeah, that stupid cancer. Seems like
And you
we
want to
all
hear God? You want to hear God laugh? Tell him your plans.
very, very much. Yeah, that is true. So, yeah, I mean, you must have you're still here, so the cancer treatments and everything must have gone well?
Yeah, I ended up I had a collapsed lobe of my right lung in
Wow.
2012, and I didn't really pay attention to it.
Uh-huh.
Uh, ended up finding out, 5 years later, that I was walking around with a collapsed lobe. And I
Wow.
got diagnosed in 2017, and it was a direct rare cancer that you see in the 9/11 community at the World Trade Center.
Okay.
So I've had a bunch of illnesses that I've been working through, still going through stuff.
Mhm. Mhm.
However, I've created an unbeatable mindset for myself,
Mhm.
and that's what I teach around the world is how to become resilient in everything that you do. And a
Amen.
lot of people, like, well, I can't. I'm nervous. I can't meditate. I can't. I was like, tap into the quantum field, and that is the field that we can't see.
Mhm.
And it's funny because when I talk about it, people are like, "Oh, that's really woo," and then I'm like, "You believe in God?" Like, "Oh yeah, of course." And I'm like, "Well, there you go. That's the quantum field."
Exactly. Now, so, I mean, so the cancer brought this whole epiphany to what you're doing now? Is that what was
Well,
it?
I've had the ability in this life to have amazing experiences.
Okay.
And I believe I was molested as a kid. I was a drug
Oh,
addict in my teens. I've been bankrupt, divorced twice, lost houses, vehicles, businesses, and I was what what they call coaching now. I was mentoring people back in the day in
okay.
real estate finance, and I created the first online repository of owner finance and lease purchase properties in the world back in 2005, 6. I
Okay.
mean, it's been so long, I can't remember. But what I realized about human behavior is that I figured mine out,
Mhm.
so we all have the same way of processing stuff.
True.
You know, from 0 to 8 years old, Jesuits say, "Show me the child, and I'll show you the adult." And what happens is we
Interesting.
mentally don't change. We're literally, children in adult bodies, and
Sure, you're
unless we
right.
can alchemize that, right,
Uh-huh.
we can get stuck.
Okay. I love that. I never thought about it that way. Yeah, I'm just a big kid. I'm still definitely that way.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
mine just shows up more than most people probably, but I am definitely just a big kid. So I mean, how did you made all the decisions? What was the process? It's just like I'm going to do it, and you just start, or what did you do there?
Well, I had a very unique experience of living in the bush of Jamaica, with my buddy Louis, who's a
Okay,
Sicilian guy from Jersey City, and he's savant. And,
nice.
having that time with him, he showed me what the human mind can do, and how our neurotransmitters
Mm-hmm.
are literally just antennas, because we are batteries. I think it's like 70-80% of our bodies are water. And have you ever hung out with somebody and they've drained you
Oh,
mentally,
definitely. Oh
right?
yes.
And then have hung out with people that encouraged you and
Yeah.
charged you up.
Just the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's tapping into the quantum field. That's the energy base that humans go through.
Okay.
And have you ever just thought about somebody and they've called,
I have. Yeah.
right?
Sometimes almost
That
right away.
Yeah, the antenna got turned on,
Mm-hmm.
and people ask me like, "So, what is it all about?" And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, "It's epigenetics. It's all
Okay.
based off a placebo effect, because our you can give somebody a sugar pill and tell them it's gonna cure their cancer, and their cancer will go away,
True.
you know?
Yes.
And epigenetics is about heart and brain coherence. And a
Okay.
lot of people a lot of people don't understand that the brain is not really the operating system.
Okay. That's not
The heart is the brain. The heart is where, the blood pumps, right?
right.
It does things that the human mind is, like I said, is in the antenna, so it's the processing chip for the human body. And when you
Wow.
have heart and brain coherence, your light gets turned on. You sit
Okay.
with the seat of your soul. And that, for me, I believe we're light seeking a human experience instead of human seeking enlightenment. I believe we're here, enlightened, and
Mm-hmm.
we're here Earth as a living school to
Right. Right. Yeah.
learn, grow, and then move on and procreate, or
Yep.
have fun and just move on. You know,
So, my gosh, this is amazing. I mean, I love this. So, I mean, how did you get tapped into this? I mean, this, I can see you're passionate about this. And I mean,
ever since I was a little kid, I always knew I was different.
okay.
I always just felt different. I've had a conversation with my brother one time because I was raised in Cliffside Park, New Jersey.
Okay.
My dad was a Teamster. My mom worked at a bank. And, my family history is my father was a flamethrower in the Marine Corps in
Wow.
Korea.
Okay.
He was one of the chosen few. My mom was sick for like 16 years before she passed
Oh,
away.
wow.
So I've watched these resilient people go through things. I used to watch my mom take a fistful of pills when she got up. That was just the start of the day, you
Wow.
know? So it was like when I started getting sick, it was like, "All right, you got this. Let's just deal with
Mhm.
whatever we have to deal with." But
Right.
then I started mentally self-sabotaging. I was looking
Okay.
at my daughter when I was diagnosed. They told me I had a malignant tumor in my lung, and the doctor had said that in front of my 11-year-old daughter at the time,
Oh,
and my daughter's mom. And my first instinct was to ready to just throat punch this dude. And that
yeah.
that sent me down that sent me down an avenue. It was like, I had to become an advocate for myself.
Okay.
Um, they told me I had, PTSD, GERDs, Barrett's esophagus, and I could be talking
Wow.
or eating something or drinking, and my throat will just lock. It'll just close.
Wow.
And it happened so often that, one night I was at the kitchen table with my daughter's mom and my
Uh-huh.
daughter, and my throat just started closing, and it's excruciating pain. It's just
Oh, I bet.
and the first couple of times I had to go to the ER. It was like, "Wow, I don't know what's going on,"
Wow.
and my voice would change, and it happened so often that, they just looked at me and they were like, "Are we going to the ER?" And I was like, "No, I got it."
Yeah,
And they just
maybe.
continued talking. They just continued talking like nothing's going on. And,
Wow.
I believe we go through things. Well, I should say I know instead of I believe. I just got somebody just turned me on to that. They're like, "Don't say you believe. Say that
Mhm.
you know, because this is what
Yes.
you know."
Yes.
Right? And I'm always learning and I'm always
Me too. Yes.
moving different parts. I'm
Uh-huh.
60 years old and I'm continuing my education and all of this stuff.
Exactly. That's awesome.
And for me, it's like the challenges that I've had in my life. We all have challenges.
Oh, yes.
We all have a story that's holding us back from
Mhm.
greatness. And for me, I know that once you get rid of the emotional attachments to the story,
Mhm.
it's quite cathartic and you can tell your story as a story instead of an emotional story.
Interesting.
So when you walk away from the emotions, because you have to do the deep dark work, man.
Oh, yeah.
We all
Yeah.
have these ill feelings towards ourselves.
Yep.
Our life is based off of fight, flight, and freeze.
Yep.
You know, the first thing that happens to us, we get a smack on the ass when we're coming out of the womb, right?
Yep.
And then the next thing happens is we start crying.
Yeah.
Why would anybody think that life is going to be any different?
True. Yeah, that is very true. Yes.
Right? So I mean, I'm just here to disturb the comfortable and comfort the disturbed. I
Ec
believe, or I said I know, um, we're not really different culturally.
No, we aren't.
Humans process things pretty much the same way. We have something called the reticular activating system,
Okay.
and that is called the RAS from here on out. All the RAS wants to do is please you. So whether or not you think you can or can't, you're right.
Yeah.
And
Right. Yes.
I know that being an entrepreneur my whole life, I was the kid with the lemonade stand. We had the spooky house, and
Okay, there you go.
just any selling chocolate, and
Sounds good.
never delivering it, just taking the
Is
money,
that
that kind of
okay?
that kind of stuff, right? And
Uh-huh.
I know I've lived my karma, right?
Uh-huh.
I definitely do. And sorry, I just lost my train of thought. I have so many thoughts moving right now in
That's
all
cool,
different
though.
directions.
I can relate with that. I can definitely relate losing your train of thought very much. But you were saying with the chocolate and stuff, you lost you didn't
Oh,
deliver.
as an entrepreneur, I believe sorry. I know, as I was an entrepreneur my whole life, that it helped me battle cancer.
Mhm.
And beating cancer has made me a better entrepreneur. Like, I don't take
Believe
nonsense
that.
anymore. I don't self-sabotage. I don't
Mhm.
self-loathe. I don't look in the mirror and not like the reflection that I see.
Uh-huh.
I actually love the person that I am today. So
Excellent.
I have to look at all the experiences that I've had in
Uh-huh.
my life where
Right.
people are like, "Oh, that's ridiculous. You went through this, you went through that." I was like, I went through I have thousands of stories.
Mhm.
And they have to be leveling me up or they're gonna take me down.
That is true.
And I had a 9-hour, surgery to remove my mid lower lobe, my right lung,
Wow.
and
Long
I
surgery.
woke up with, Saturday night palsy because I was strapped down on a gurney for 9 hours, and
Oh.
my arm was stretched out. So the nerve
Oh.
blocked,
Oh, wow.
and, yeah, it's pretty wild.
I bet.
Um, coming back from that took me 6 years. I was in the
That's a
most
long
intense
time.
pain that ever
Ooh.
felt, and it was just constant 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All the drugs they were giving me Dilaudid, morphine, the Percocet, Percodan, like, just
Oh, wow.
all the
Hey, just
painkillers you can go
yeah.
through, and they weren't doing anything. The pain was still there, yet I was becoming this obnoxious person on drugs.
Hmm.
And it was going back to the reflection of me as a teen. It's like, "Nah, man, I'm gonna shut this down." So
Mhm. Yeah.
I started studying epigenetics, and it's the heart and brain coherence. So I listened to a lot of frequencies,
Okay.
I listen to a lot of, somatic frequencies that know have helped me tremendously level up in my world. I'll give you an example. I
Okay.
was studying epigenetics for like a couple of years, and
Okay.
at the time, and I had gone to a 9/11 medical evaluation, and the doctor took my X-rays out, and she came
Mhm.
in. She was like, "Hey, Craig, have you ever had a bad X-ray?" And like my immediate thought was like, "Man, she's gonna tell me I'm gonna be dead by Tuesday, and
Yeah.
what am
Yeah.
I gonna do?" And then I was like, "You know what? Whatever she's gonna say is not gonna take the smile off my face.
That's
Whatever she says is not gonna make me unhappy. It's not
yes.
gonna disconnect,
Mhm.
this
Yes.
amazing feeling that I have."
Yes.
And come to find out, she didn't even have my paperwork, and
Okay.
she was looking at my lung and
Uh-huh.
saw a big cloud and thought, "Hey, this guy's done." But she
Yeah.
didn't realize that I had those parts removed. So it was like,
Oh, yeah.
and that's when the light kicked on. It was
Right.
like, "Wow, this stuff really works."
Yeah.
So I started continually shut down my mind
Mhm.
and control the pain, because the only thing
Okay.
that we can control is this right
True.
here, right? This is
Yes.
the only real
Yes.
estate we could own. Everything else is a contract. So we have
True.
contracts with ourselves
Yep.
that are self-sabotaging.
Mhm.
Depends on what we sign on for in this world.
Yeah. Very true.
I've signed on. They told me 4 different times, excuse me, that they were treating me or attempting to
Okay.
treat me for cancer. And each one of those experiences mentally destroyed me.
I
I
bet.
felt less
Do
than,
that. Yeah.
you know, but they were only right once, and I have the scars for all 4 times.
Yeah.
And the last one was September 2024.
Okay.
I had a knee surgery,
Mhm.
and, the it was September, yeah, November, my leg was still swollen.
Okay.
And I went back to the surgeon, and he was like, "Listen, I think you have synovial sarcoma." And 5 minutes later, he addressed me, and he's like, that's the craziest thing. You're the first patient that I've ever said something like that to, and you laughed in my face." He's like, "How did you do that?"
Uh-huh.
And I was
Yeah.
like, "Because,
I
I've
get
been
surprised.
misdiagnosed with a bunch of stuff. I've had mis there was one time in my life where they told me, I had an unremarkable uterus, okay? And
Okay, interesting.
that was a misdiagnosis because they were reading this pregnant lady's th and it's like, the medical industry in the United States, there's a lot of people that shouldn't be working in it,
True.
right?
Very true.
And you know that experience.
Oh,
I
yes,
mean,
very much.
and it's like, whatever we hear, okay, can
Yeah.
trigger us into a downward spiral,
Yeah.
and it not being true.
Yeah.
So it's like the only thing that we control, like I said, this is the only real estate we can own.
Mhm.
So everything outside of us, right, is all of this noise and all of this
It is noise,
distorted
yes.
frequencies. So
Yes.
I know when I dialed in my frequency, right, my energy
Mhm.
changed, right, my
Uh-huh.
vibration changed, and
Yes,
then it was
important.
like now it's me against me, and one of me needed to die. So it's like,
Mhm.
which version of you needs to die?
Mhm.
Right? So, I mean,
Yep.
you can't walk around filling up your cup if your cup's already full. So
True.
you take the learned wisdom, right? And you pass it on to other people, you empty your cup. So you can continue on this journey to fill it back up.
Mhm.
And that's my path. No, I
Aw,
refuse to be held down. I just
and
don't.
I love that for all you've been through. I mean, that's and that's so inspirational, motivational because it's a whole different way and different mindset, to say the least. But the fact you can do that after all you've been through, and it's a conscious decision. Um,
Well, it's actually okay,
or
so
is it not? It's
this is gonna be funny, right?
okay.
You have to be radically uncomfortable being uncomfortable, right?
Okay.
So what happens is most people, they'll look at themselves,
Uh huh.
right? And then it'll be like, "Oh, man," as soon as that uncomfortable feeling, they go back to their habit. They go
Yeah.
back, right? So
Yep.
consciously, our conscious thought right? I was talking about this a couple few times in the last few weeks about false positivity.
Mhm.
So when you're thinking about something consciously, that's 5% of your day. 95% of your day is run off your subconscious behavior, your reticular activating system,
Okay,
because
true.
your
Yeah.
reticular activating system wants to please you.
Mhm.
So if you have crappy thoughts, it's going to give you crappy experiences because you're tapping in to the experience of not being enough
Mhm.
for whatever emotional story, emotional
Okay.
attachment you have to the story that's holding you back. So I convey to people that you really need to sit in your dark thoughts. You really need to tap into that dark side of you and sit in it. No,
Okay.
and it goes against all the things in psychology and
Oh,
psychiatry, and
yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, no, 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 let's not talk about this."
Mhm.
Let me just say it's gonna be okay. No, it's not gonna be okay. There's nobody gonna come save you, right? You have
Yep.
to become your own hero in this journey. And
Yep.
a lot of people don't wanna confront the mirror because it's their character that's looking back at them.
Yeah, true. No, that is. I love that. That's an interesting way to put that. Never thought of it that way either. So I mean, okay, you were at 9/11 then that caused the cancer that I mean, you were working there or just visiting?
So I was living, Jersey City, New Jersey
Okay.
on the Hudson, and me and my daughter's mom, we watched, both towers come down.
Wow.
She has mega pictures of this, just like like,
Mm.
and I laugh because it's like, I don't have any more emotional attachment to this stuff. I really don't.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
encourage people to laugh at all of their ridiculous nonsense that they've been through. Because when you can, it's quite cathartic
Yeah.
and you move forward in certain things. So I was there for 2 days
Oh, wow.
and I never looked back.
Okay.
It was we were moving, I was renovating 2 houses that I was selling in downtown Jersey City, and
Okay.
we were moving to Florida, the next month
Okay.
because we were gonna get married in Florida.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, I never looked back. I was only there for 2 days. I was like, I did the thing, right? And then just
Yep.
kept moving forward. And then, 3 years later, we got hit by 2 hurricanes in 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And
That's crazy.
that kind of flashed back into my head about all the destruction and stuff, and it's something that if you're not actually attacking it, your
Mhm.
mindset, because we live in our heads every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a
Yep.
week, right?
Yep.
So everything else outside of us is a distortion, and to actually change and get rid of the self-sabotaging behaviors that
Mhm.
we have to radically tap into the dark side and just
Yep.
keep sitting in it and sitting in it and sitting in it. And then people are like, "Well, what happens after?" I was like, "You
Mhm.
have to keep doing this stuff. You change your habit, you change your character." It's
True.
it's the 95% of everything that we do is our subconscious behavior every day. So you might pick up your phone, right, automatically with your left hand because your body's been programmed to do that
Right.
more so than your brain thinks about it. It's automated.
True. Very true. So, okay. What I mean, you kind of go out and do coaching and you do help people with this? Is that what you do? Or and have you
24
been
hours a day, 7 days a week.
awesome. So how long have you been doing that?
So I didn't know well, I've been mentoring people ever since the real estate days, and
Okay.
I started getting into coaching seriously, as I was battling this cancer stuff, and I became a Les Brown Power Voice speaker in
Oh, wow.
2020,
Okay.
and that kind of, like, set the deal, to put
Mhm.
me in that direction because it was like, at that time, I was getting surgery once a month, and in
Wow.
between procedures, and it was like, I was getting inspired by my mentor, it was Les Brown, one of the greatest mentors
Mhm.
I've ever had,
Mhm. Yeah.
and he just convinced me, he's like, "Look, I'm gonna tell you what to do, right? Do this, this, and this, your life is gonna change."
Mhm.
And he's like, "Craig, you need to just stay ahead of the chalk outline, and you'll have this beat." And,
Uh-huh.
and that's what I've been doing. I've been staying ahead of the chalk outline because I understand, you know, illness is gonna come,
Oh, it will eventually, yeah.
right? But most of us have illness in our heads that we're not dealing with.
Very true.
And that's gonna set the biochemistry off in our
Mhm.
bodies, right? It's like
Mhm.
I said
Right.
before, we're designed for fight, flight, and freeze.
Y
However, you can stand up again and you can turn that biochemistry instead of adrenaline and cortisol, right? Serotonin
Yes.
and oxytocin, the feel good chemicals. And I've been on the feel good chemicals for a really long time. And I encourage people to look at yourself in the mirror. It's you versus you, and one of you needs to die. And I
Yeah.
encourage people every day, to learn how to execute. If you have a if you have an idea that you want to like, show people or yourself or
Yes.
whatever,
Yes.
right? Execute on it now,
Amen. Yes.
immediately. And you're like,
Yes.
well, what if I fail? So what? That's how you become successful,
Fail
right?
forward.
But
Yes.
yeah, but people don't want to do that. They rather die than change. And that's
Yeah.
been a statistic for years.
Mhm. No, that's true. That's why a lot of people don't get their dreams. So,
No, because they sit in this comfortableness,
yeah,
and your comfort zone is not gonna save you. You have to
it
learn
will
new
not.
things every day. Yeah.
No, I mean, that is so, I mean, how do you work with people when you coach them? Do they approach you, or how do they find you to have you
If I
coach?
It's usually word of mouth. Look, I talk to 100 people, I'll coach 1 or 2, because
Okay.
I understand that some people believe that they're ready, but I could tell as I'm speaking I give everybody 15 minutes, right? So,
Okay.
as I'm having a 15-minute conversation with them, I could watch their body language and see whether or not they're serious. I'm not just gonna take people's money and not be able to provide something for
Sure.
them, right?
And
Because I love people having their aha moments. I
mhm.
really do.
Oh, yes.
And when somebody's walking around, I had this great coach, Danny, one time, and she used to say that, every bad thought or whatever is like a jacket.
Okay.
And so you have a bad experience and you put on another jacket and then another jacket, and life will come whether you want to participate or not. So by the
True.
time you turn around, you have 20 jackets on, you're walking heavy, man. You're
Yeah.
dragging yourself because it feels so heavy.
Yep.
And you got to start taking those jackets off, those
You
coats.
do.
That's like peeling back the onion. And what
Yeah.
happens when you peel the
Yeah.
onion? You start
Yep.
to cry. People have walked away from their emotions so much
Huh.
that they're all
Yeah.
bottled up, and I believe I did as well. I was bottled up for so much, it just the cancer,
Mhm.
helped the cancer grow, and it's like, "No, man, no, doesn't have to be like that." And they're like, "Well, but you don't know my story." I don't care about your story.
Yeah. That's
I
yeah.
don't. It's the emotional attachment to the story that's holding you back. And like, well, how do I get rid of the emotions? Be emotional.
Yeah.
Sit in that story. And it
Yep.
doesn't matter. I don't mean to sound callous. It doesn't matter what the story is. Because when you start reprogramming yourself, because that's all it is, a reprogram,
Okay.
right? Because 0 to 8 years old, the Jesuits say, "Show me the child, and I'll show you the adult." And it's like,
Mhm.
yes, that's it. Because you
Yes.
see you see somebody's behavior their whole life, right? And
Yeah.
it's like it's just gonna continue moving forward because that develops your personality, which develops your character, which all of a sudden in the end, you're literally a cartoon, man. Nobody's gonna take you serious.
Mhm.
People
Yep.
didn't take me
Yep.
serious for a really long time, and I just laugh now because it's
Mhm.
like nobody's taking them serious,
Yeah.
and it's like you gotta work on yourself, man. That's what this
You
life
do.
is all about. It's
It
the art
is.
school. Start
Yeah.
learning.
Yes. Yes. So I asked you this the other day, and I let you answer. Since this Drink at Your podcast, when you were growing up, what did you think you were going to be when you were an adult?
Like I said, an entrepreneur my
Okay.
whole
You,
life.
you always knew that.
Always. Yeah, I was the kid with the lemonade stand. I was the kid that was selling, whatever,
Uh
you
huh.
know, just 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 to see.
Mm-hmm.
Just to see the experiences. I've run businesses into the ground just to see how they don't
Yeah.
work,
Okay. I like that.
right? And people are like, "Yeah, but you lost so much money." Yeah, but I also made money. I've
Yeah.
been rich and poor. Rich is always better.
Oh,
Gives you
yeah.
better options and choices.
True. Yes.
But
True.
but sitting in the last situation I've been in, I got wiped out, man.
Yeah.
Financially, mentally, like, and just coming back, standing back up again, dusting myself off and moving
Mhm.
forward is a reward that,
Yeah.
like I
True.
said, I'm not going back to the adrenaline and just the bad chemicals in our body
Yeah.
because we have the most aggressive pharmaceutical set, the best pharmaceutical set that we could possibly encounter. Learn
True.
how to control it because
Yep.
that's your drug system.
True. That's a great way to look at that too. So when you were doing your entrepreneurial with the lemonade stand, did you have a thing that you wanted to do when you were an adult?
No,
Entrepreneurial?
I just wanted to make money when I was a kid,
I can go with
right?
that one.
Learn how to do it, move forward, right? And then all of a sudden at 60 years old, I realized I became nothing. And that's the proudest moment other than having my daughter. Proudest moment of
Awesome.
my life
Okay.
is to be able to be nothing, just be. Most
Yeah.
people want to be a carbon copy of other people. I
Yeah.
just wanted to be me, and finding
Amen.
me was the most important part of my journey,
Yes.
right? I found me.
Yes.
I'm a giant. I'm a
Yeah.
legend.
I love it.
I'm the best in the world at what I do. And people are like, "Oh, that is
Yes.
ridiculous. How can you say that?" No, no, no. Listen to my words. I'm the best at what I do, not what you
Mhm.
do.
Yep.
Right? 'Cause people are like, "Oh, you're so arrogant." Yeah, whatever. What you say means nothing to me because you're just talking to me based off of your experience,
True.
right?
Yeah.
And it's like, neurological linguistic programming, words and phrases, what people use, and it
Yes.
hypnotizes them, right?
Yeah.
Spelling. So you create spells in your life because the
Yes.
reticular activating system is listening to everything that you're seeing, looking at. And I'll give you a
True.
prime example. What's your favorite car?
Subarus. I've had really good luck with Subarus.
What's your favorite color?
Um, well, we've had a lot of blue, kind of steel gray blue. Yeah.
Okay. Steel gray blue. Watch how many steel gray blue vehicles you're going to see in the next week.
A
Because
lot.
now you're aware. Now
Yeah.
you're aware, right? So your
Yep.
reticular activating system just wants to please you. So it wants to show up in your life
Okay.
and help you. So if you're having crappy thoughts, hey, I I want
Gonna.
I want a jalopy. You're gonna see all
Yeah.
jalopies because that's what you believe you deserve, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I tell people this is the only real estate you can own. So what do you want to live in, a slum or a mansion?
Huh,
It's
a
all
mansion.
upon you. It's all
Yeah.
upon you. Yeah.
No, that is interesting. So, I mean, this is amazing. So, I mean, do you take? I mean, okay. When you coach people, do you do it in person or is it online or is it around the world or?
It's all online around the world. I mean, I
Okay.
don't even have to leave my living room, right?
That sounds like a
I
win-win.
get to speak all over the world, right? And I don't even have to leave where I'm at. And honestly, I like that simply because, I mean, my health is not the best.
Mm,
However, I'm still living.
yeah.
People
Yeah.
I had this
Especially if
one
you're.
guy right? And he's like, "Yeah, you talk about all this health stuff and all of that, but you're still sick." I was like, "No, no, no, no. You're not paying attention. I'm still alive.
Yes.
I'm already 3 years past my expiration date for my lung
Yes.
cancer."
A
Right?
gift.
And it's
Yes.
like, absolutely. And that's what people don't understand. Life is a gift. It's the
It
present.
is.
Nobody wants to open it. They're
Yeah.
afraid to open up the present
They
because
are.
because it's gonna reveal them to themselves.
Yep. And they
Nah,
don't
man,
want to.
it's a
Nope.
gift.
It is
It's a
very,
gift.
very much a gift. Anybody who's been through like with you, and we talked the other day with my wife and her cancers, and it definitely gives you clarity on that it is very much a gift. So,
That
well,
clarity is the most important.
yeah.
No, I don't have the brain fog anymore.
Mhm. No, no, that is so okay. You have a podcast, right?
No,
You
I
don't have a
did.
podcast.
I
You
did
did.
years ago. Yeah.
So you just didn't care for that, or
The way I look at my life, it's a lot easier for me to be on everybody else's podcast right now,
well, I could see that.
right? So I'm on podcasts all around the world.
Okay.
I'm on apps, Clubhouse,
Or are you in Clubhouse?
YouTube,
Okay.
TikTok.
Okay.
Clubhouse is where I dominated Clubhouse, right?
Okay.
And one of the best experiences I had was being invited to speak and teach street English in India on Clubhouse.
Interesting.
And let me tell you something. All we did was bust each other's chops and laugh and
That's good.
and and it's like, nobody laughs or cries in a different language. So we're all going through the same stuff.
Yeah. We are.
Culturally, it's gonna be different, of course, but we all think the same way. The
We
reticular
do.
activating system just wants to please us.
Yep.
So it's like, why, being honored to teach street English in India was the first one. Actually speaking to these guys and
Uh
girls,
huh.
and it was just like, wow, I have the best life I could have ever had right
Excellent.
now. you know?
Love
And,
that.
yeah, I'm just,
That
amazed and in awe that I get to do this every day.
I love that. And I mean, do you speak in front of people and audiences? I mean, in live?
So back in the day, I did. I used to speak at
Okay.
convention centers after we built that business, and it was,
Okay.
owners financing real estate. So I'd go to convention centers, and I'd walk off stage getting all of these accolades, and then all of a sudden, I'd be walking off the stage, and I used to think I was less than. I used to think I was a horrible person.
Oh,
I used to
wow.
think just because I wasn't tapping into actually learning about
Okay.
me being a lesson and tapping into that and walking around with those insecurities and feeling not enough.
Mhm.
And I believe, well, I know people are walking around
Uh-huh.
not thinking they're enough.
Yeah.
And that's why
Insecurities.
I know millionaires that are just shitty people, right? Instead of being having the resources to help people, a lot of
Yes.
a lot of people want to hinder people and see them suffer and watch what
Yeah.
they go through and going, look at me. And it's like, you need outside validation. Okay, you immature, insecure child. I understand who you are.
Yeah. No, I mean, that is, so do you write? Do you have a book? You have a book, don't you?
Yeah, it's called Everybody Pays a Vig, One Man's Entrepreneurial Journey. I'm
Okay.
writing another one. It's called The Shaman from Jersey, on how I've
Okay. All right. The
alchemized my
shaman, yes.
life. How I've been able to, and a lot of people don't like the subject, but I've done massive amounts of psychedelics,
Oh,
to understand who I am.
mhm.
Um, did over 300 rounds of dimethyltryptamine, uh,
Okay.
LSD, peyote ceremonies with the Wichita Indians.
Uh-huh.
Like I said, I had the ability to spend 6 months in the bush of Jamaica with somebody that was savant. And I
Wow.
keep looking at all of these experiences, and it's brought me to who I am today. So I'm extremely
Yes.
proud of the person that I am today, being
Yes.
nothing. That's the
And
most
rightly
important.
so. So, I mean, what I don't maybe you don't look that far. What's next? I mean, what do you see yourself in a year or so or
Speaking around the world,
just
on
speak okay.
stages,
Okay.
getting my health back. I mean, I'm
Okay.
still
Yeah.
dealing with things, but everybody's dealing with something, right?
Oh, yes, everybody is.
Yeah. So I mean, I love the fact that I get to do this. I really do. And, for the longest time, dealing with molestation was like the most horrific thing in my life.
I could see
And
that.
then I started to realize that it was like I help men around the world, man, because I believe that molestation and childhood development isn't taught properly around this world because nobody wants to show their emotions. And
True.
we're all programmed to believe that if you show your emotions are weak,
Yep.
and that is the furthest thing from the truth because if
Very
we're all
true.
emotional creatures.
We are.
So if you
Yes.
don't tap into your emotions, right, it's going to
Yep.
hold you back.
Yes.
And people are like, aren't you embarrassed? It's like, embarrassed about what, man? I help thousands of people around the world. What can I be embarrassed about? Not my
Yeah.
next goal is millions and then
Uh-huh.
billions.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, I'm driven to achieve everything that I have,
And will.
everything that I'm working for. And I want to show people. It's like, trip and fall.
Yep.
As many times you have to dust yourself off and get back up.
Yes.
If you're afraid of embarrassing situations and being humiliated and ridiculed and mocked, this ain't for you. This life isn't for you. It's
Mhm.
for me because I don't care about any of that stuff.
Yeah.
I used to want to people please. What did that
Okay.
show? It shows how immature I was. It shows how insecure I was.
Okay.
And that reveals a lot when people want to people please.
True. And I cannot see you doing that either. I mean, I'm glad that
Oh, I
you
used to. When I was
okay.
sick, when I was sick, I wanted to please other people because I was dying at the time.
Well,
You know?
see that then.
Yeah. But I mean, the way I look at life now is the way I look at life, not the way you look at life, not the way
True.
anybody else looks at life. So I've developed a different mindset for myself. Where, like I said before, I run into an obstacle. Like I told you before, I lost my phone.
Yes. No, I can't I don't wanna imagine that. I don't wanna
That
have
was
that
that
happen.
was like that was like, "Oh, man," tried to tap into, my email. It was like, "Oh, two-factor authentication. I'm screwed."
Yes, yeah, wow.
And then immediately it was like, "Okay, well, what's good about this situation?"
Mhm.
Well, it's gonna show me how to slow down again,
Yep.
talk to my daughter's mom, my daughter. I was like, "Start pinging my phone, start sending it text messages, and please
Mhm.
start calling it."
Mhm.
It was like 3 hours, I got my phone back.
Like, which isn't bad.
I didn't doubt that I was getting it back. I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
had that
I know what you
I
mean.
just had that feeling like, "Oh, I'm screwed." No, you're not. No, you're not.
Yeah.
It'll work out because that's what it's supposed to do. And if you
Yep.
don't get it back, you'll figure it out. It's not
Yeah.
the end of the world. I don't
It
have
isn't.
cancer. I don't have
No.
cancer, and this is, it's nothing for a giant. Gotta keep moving forward.
You do, very much. So was your daughter kinda with the same mindset as you?
Yeah, my daughter, like, dad's like, "Oh, my daughter's amazing." No, she really is.
Very cool.
She reads people, and one of the things while I was battling, the cancer was
Uh-huh.
I felt like such a loser. I used to be a
Really?
high achiever, right? And then I couldn't even pay the electric bill. I didn't even know where the rent was coming from. I didn't
Wow.
know, like, because we lost everything
Yeah.
multiple times. Cancer will wipe you out.
Oh, it
And
will.
yeah, and then I got into the 9/11 community. I was like, how horrific that community is, because
Yeah.
everybody, I'm one of tens of thousands that are sick and dying. Nobody cares.
Mm.
Seriously, politicians don't care. They talk
No,
all
I'm
this
sure they
rhetoric
don't.
and, bullet points or my sound bites. But then, it starts at, like, September 7th and it ends September 12th, and they never want to talk to you. And there are people that are lobbying for all this stuff, which I love them.
Mhm,
You know,
mhm.
I had to walk away. I couldn't mentally take it anymore. I lost so many people in the community. I was like, nah,
Wow.
man, I'm going to encourage the world to stand back up again. And that's what I do. And I'm very proud of what I do.
I have no doubt. I mean, we just met, but I have no doubt on that. So, I'm glad that God, universe, whatever you believe, crossed our paths. And I like I
Oh, absolutely. Like I said before, God, universe, whatever, got a funny sense of humor, man.
he
And
does.
I'm not afraid to meet him by any stretch, because
I would like to.
we are
Yeah.
gonna have a conversation.
Yep. No, I mean, he does have interesting ways of, getting the point across. That is for sure. So,
And it's always in that energy's timetable, right?
yeah, true. Oh, yes. Yes.
I'm
Not
so
ours.
glad there are things that I never had come to fruition in a time period. Because I used to think the pinnacle of my success was back in the real estate days. And
Mhm.
I was talking to my brother, and he's like, "You've never witnessed success like you have now." And it's not about financial. It's
Uh-huh.
about I walk around freely in my head.
So
I
do I.
presented myself to the universe. And I was
Mhm.
like, "Thank you for bringing me down on my knees dozens and dozens of times."
Yes.
You know?
Yes. And that is where most people are not at because they would be thinking, "Why did you do this to me?" Or "Why did this happen to me?"
Oh, yeah,
And
I went through all of that. I went through
yeah, I know.
all of that, "Why me? Why me?" And
Yeah.
then it was kicking into, "Why not me?"
True.
Great people go through crappy things, and
Oh, yes,
crappy
definitely.
people go through great things.
Yep.
In the end, how do you look at yourself in the mirror?
Yep.
That's the way I look at my life.
Yeah, I always think that when you're going through the crappy things, it's kinda strength building. It's like, "Okay, I made it through that. Let's
Yeah,
move on."
I have enough strength, man.
Is that okay?
I'd like to coast for a little while, you know?
Okay, I hear you. No, I definitely do. So, no, I hope sometime we get to meet in person too. Didn't you talk the other day about something with an RV or something?
Yeah, I wanna go around the United States from, start in California and go to the World Trade Center for September 11th. So
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna be
Okay.
looking for sponsors. I'm gonna be looking for all the stuff that, will help me actually do this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
And I wanna go to people's podcasts, like you tell me, you gave me a great idea, Route 80, right? You go right across Route 80, and
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, I'd like to stop off and actually do these in libraries, like live podcasts,
That would be awesome.
in the libraries of
I'll
our
meet you at
communities.
80.
Yeah. No,
So,
I think it's a great idea, and I think I'm ready for it.
I think you
I
are too.
really do. I believe I'm ready for it. Because I wanna encourage this whole volcanic meatball for people to, like, just look at themselves as the root cause of all their problems and
Yeah.
healing. Not the problems that have people have done to you,
Mhm.
because that's all on them. It's
True.
you taking accountability and responsibility for your healing. And
Yes.
unfortunately, or fortunately, to really heal, you gotta, like, look at the wound, take the Band-Aid off, man, study it, sit in it, nurture it,
You do. You do. Yes. You do. 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 You do.
and you become a better version of who you are in the end.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, you don't wanna let it control you. You wanna learn and move on, so
Well, a lot of times we feed fear time, and that's one of the worst things you could do because it's not gonna help you execute on the things that you wanna get done.
true. That is very, very true. So this RV thing, do you know when that's gonna be?
I'm still working on it.
Okay.
I'm still working on it, but I
But you
wanna get
started
it.
Southern California, though.
I
Okay.
wanna start in California
Okay.
and drive across the United States and stop and do podcasts and help people along the way.
Excellent. We need to keep in touch, so I know, and I'm sure we will. But knowing that's going on, so I mean, anyway, I can help you on that too. I would definitely love to support you on that.
I'd appreciate it.
So it'd be awesome. Craig, before we end the podcast, anything else you would like to share with the audience?
Just, look at yourself as the hero in your journey, love
Yes.
yourself more. That was one of the biggest things. I didn't have the self-love. I really didn't,
Hmm.
and I've put myself in situations where they weren't loving. The situations I was in wasn't loving. And
Okay.
I believe like when you have relationships, business, marriage, it doesn't matter. You have to with your partners look at life in a different depth. You
True.
have to, communicate, understand who you're dealing with, understand who you're talking to, understand the wounds of people and heal those
Right.
wounds. Because if you're not healing those wounds, you're gonna be bleeding on people that never cut you.
True.
And
Very true.
that's the self-sabotage, that's the love bombing, that's the passive aggressive crap that we
Hmm. Hmm.
we confront all the time. And it's like, nah, man, you can change.
You
You can.
can.
You just gotta get serious about it. You gotta
You do.
create new habits. That's it.
Yes, you do. And people think that they can't do that, especially when they get older. It's just like,
Exactly. I think I'm more ambitious now than I was in my 20s.
that's excellent.
Yeah,
So
because I'm going out kicking and screaming.
amen. I love it. Me too. So that's the way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
I
some
believe
people
so.
just want to just kind of fade away. And it's like, why? You know,
Oh, I'm going out on my last project. I'm gonna be doing projects that people like, "Oh, I can't wait to retire." I'm like, think about the word retire. So
yeah.
you're gonna be tired over and over again.
Yep.
And I know of so many people that once they retired, 6 months, a year and a half, they're dead because
Yes.
they're not doing
Me too.
anything. Yeah, they're not doing anything for themselves. They're just
No.
like sitting down. I could sit down for a week. In 3 days in, I'm already looking to do something. I'm already,
That would be me
you know,
too.
because I created a life that I don't have to run away from,
Yep. Yep.
and I believe, I know that's the best thing that you could do for yourself is create a life that you love,
Amen.
and just use going to a different geographical location as
Hmm.
part of your job, as part
Yeah.
of your work environment. Just work
Exactly.
in a different place.
Yes. No, I mean, and it is, and like we talked the other day, people said it. I'm 63. That I should be retiring, and it's like, why? you
I'm
know,
just starting to amp up.
yeah, yeah. No, I don't plan on ever retiring. I'm going to go out like you said. Kick. Yeah, I mean, I will not be quiet. That is for
Yeah.
sure.
Kicking and screaming, man. The way we
Yep.
came in, it's the same way I'm
Yes.
going out.
Same way. And do something. I mean, I love podcasting and I love talking. And yeah, I don't ever want to quit doing that as long as I'm physically able. So and I just that's one thing I want to, and what you are also emphasizing, um, just do it. Just don't let the
It's
don't let
simple.
what for one thing, society has so many things, rules, and regulations that they think that you have to follow, and so many people, I think, unconsciously follow them. So,
Yeah, because of their reticular activating system, their recording system from 0 to 8 years old.
yep,
We're programmed,
yep,
but we're pre-programmed before we even get here with fight, flight, and freeze.
yeah,
We have to
yeah,
change that
yeah,
into conquering yourself,
yeah,
and then you become nothing. And I think that's one of the greatest gifts you can give to yourself.
yep. No, I think so too. So, well, Craig, I think on that, that's a great way to end the podcast. Thank you for joining me on the Dreamcatcher podcast.
Thanks,
Like I
Mark.
said, I look forward to meeting you in person. Um,
Me too.
if not, if on I-80, do you ever come to the United States very often?
Not really.
You stay down there where you're
No,
at then.
I'm down here for medical. I'm down here to, change the way I view things and do things, and I'm looking
Okay.
at business opportunities here. However, I mean, there's things that I want to do in the United States still. I want
Okay.
to go back to the United States and buy real estate because
There you go.
I think we're having one of the greatest advantages right now and
Yeah.
opportunities and I don't buy the way normal people do. I'm into creative financing, so
Okay.
I
It
think
sounds
I think it's time to go shopping.
there you go. So if I hear you come to the United States, I know you're going shopping then. So
Yes, absolutely.
okay, that sounds great. So, well, Craig, I'm going to end the podcast there. So thank you for joining us, and you take care.
Thank you so much, Mark.
You're welcome. Thank you.